this is Ryan. We're going to do the Turkish get-up for you. Actually, I'm going to talk about it. Ryan's going to do it. Turkish get-up's a great exercise for shoulder strength and stability, core strength and stability, leg strength, and hip mobility. So I used to say that you should be able to do this till you're 70 years old, but we have a member that's 72 and he's doing this, so you should be able to do this till you're 80 years old. So Ryan's going to demo the movements for the Turkish get-up, or all the movements for it, and I'm going to talk him through it. So first off, he's going to start off in the fetal position with that kettlebell. This is going to help to protect the shoulder, so he's not going to lay on his back and just stretch his arm up. Do you want to do that the wrong way for a sec? So don't actually pull it in, but we don't want you starting off here and he's just going to grab the bell and pull it in. That's going to be hard on the shoulder, especially when you get to heavier weight. So he's going to just roll onto his side into that fetal position. Right hand is under the handle of that kettlebell, his left hand's over top, and then when he rolls back, he's using his body weight to bring that kettlebell over. So go. Good. From there, if you need help getting the bell up, you can use both hands, or if you're strong enough to just press the bell up with the one arm, you can do that. We want to make sure that this forearm on the right side is nice and vertical so that you can drive straight up. So in this position, here's your start position. Right arm stays vertical from now on, right till the end of the movement where he gets back down onto the ground. His right knee stays bent, so if the bell's in the right hand, right knee stays bent, left leg is straight, and left arm is going to be basically facing the same direction as that left leg. So legs have to be apart so that when Ryan pushes off this right heel, he can get some leverage to get up onto that left elbow. So arm is straight, shoulders packed, and he's going to punch up and get onto his left elbow. So you can hear him breathe every movement. We want one breath cycle at least every movement, especially as this gets heavier. He's going to get up onto his hand. From here, I don't know if you can see, but his shoulder's packed so that he's supporting that weight. We don't want to have that shoulder coming up to the ear here. From here, he's going to hike those hips up. He's keeping that bell in his peripheral vision the whole time at least. So you don't want to be looking around having that bell waving around in the air. He's going to pull that left leg through, getting his knee directly under his hip so that he ends up in a good supportive tripod stance. From here, he's going to adjust his right leg just so it gets out in front a little bit so he can get into a good position. Torso upright, arm still stays vertical here. And now he can start looking straight ahead. Right leg should be in a good position so that basically you can drive through that right heel to get to standing. He's going to stand it right up. So he's at the halfway point now. Arm is vertical, wrist, elbow, shoulder in line. Wrist is neutral, which it should be throughout the whole movement. He's going to step back with that left leg. Knee comes down. He's going to bring his hand down and give himself enough space so that he can kick that leg through. So he's in a really good, strong tripod stance right now. So remember what this looks like. He's going to sweep that left leg through, bring his butt down to the ground. He's going to bring his elbow down to the ground and his shoulder down to the ground. And then safely bring that bell in using both hands, and then he's going to roll to the side to allow that kettlebell to come back down to the ground. So you always want to think about this exercise as if you were doing this with a very heavy weight, could you get away with the movement? So that means if your arm is doing this and you have an 80 or 100 pound kettlebell, you probably don't want to do that. Always want to pay attention to it. Do the movement slowly. This shouldn't be done quickly at all. You want to make sure that you're very, very calculated with the movements, and make sure you have a clear space to do the movement as well, just so that you're not doing the Turkish get-up on top of someone else. The other thing I wanted to mention was, while you're doing this, you may not end up in the exact same position all the time because you are moving around on the floor, so you might be facing different directions, which is fine. So we'll get Ryan to hit it on the other side. While he's doing this, he's moving over top of the bell. He's not going to drag the bell around his head. He's not going to drag it across his face or his chest. Doesn't matter how good his dentist is. We definitely don't want him getting those teeth banged up. So I won't talk him through it this time, but just maybe throw out some points of performance here and there. Go for it. things that Ryan's doing is taking a definite pause between each movement, so he's not trying to go through it quickly, not trying to make sure this movement flows or anything like that. There should be a definite pause in between each movement, and he's definitely breathing in each movement, or between each movement as well. So that was Ryan and his Turkish get-up. I wanted to add for the Turkish get-up is a common mistake that people make is when they're coming down from the get-up, going up or down. You don't actually have to use the bell for this. But anytime that we're coming up or down, one common mistake that people make with the Turkish get-up is not being in a good stance for that tripod stance. So when Ryan gets up, this is the stance we want to be in. We want to be in a good supportive stance. So if he's got like an 80-pound kettlebell in his hand, or even a light bell, wrist, elbow, shoulders in line, it's stacked over top of these joints here, so the shoulder, elbow, and wrist, and then his feet and his knee, or his foot and his knee are right here. Knee is directly under that hip. If his butt is back and he's sitting on that foot, this is going to make it very hard to get up or to even sweep that leg through when you're coming back down. So then you end up getting tripped up on that. So you don't want to be doing that when you have a heavy weight in overhead. So having this room and this space to kick right through, he's got tons of space to bring his legs back and forth. So torso upright next, so kick the leg back, torso upright, hand comes down again, kick through. So this is a good way to practice to make sure that you've got a lot of space so that you can flow through this movement rather than kind of getting hung up and kicking your other foot. So, good. Thanks, Ryan.